Hey everybody,
What's up, guys?
welcome to the IronTrap podcast. We are doing another weekly podcast where we talk about who knows what. We probably just decided moments ago what we're going to discuss today.
It's an honored weekly tradition every week.
Yes, it is. What do you want to talk about? I don't know.
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
We ask Moon, and Moon usually chimes in and gives us our topic.
Moon's already asleep, so
Yep.
he's in his position for now. So,
So happy holidays and Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yeah.
Hope everyone had a good Christmas. There was a bunch of people. I put a very old Christmas photo that we took in the shop years ago with a Christmas tree and some hot rod parts. I put that up on Facebook, and there was a bunch of people that were like, my wife got me a ton of IronTrap merch. I got IronTrap shirts for Christmas. So thanks to everyone's wives that bought them merch for Christmas. We appreciate the support.
I think we successfully, wives, daughters.
Yeah. That's right. We had someone's daughter come and pick up a T-shirt in person.
I didn't realize this, but Kate said that gal is now a client of hers at the salon because of IronTrap.
Oh, really?
She was looking for a hairstylist that was, I don't know if closer to home or whatever the deal was, and her husband is a fan of ours and said, "Hey, Kate from IronTrap is a hairstylist. You should try her." And like months ago, Kate told me that she got a new client from IronTrap, which was
funny.
cool. And then I told her that a gal was picking up a calendar, and she did last year, and she's like, "I wonder if it's her." It probably is because they live local.
Yeah.
And then I read the name on the order to her, and she's like, "Yeah, that's her." I'm like,
That's so funny.
So it's great.
Yeah.
Kate has a client. That gal was able to find a new hairstylist through IronTrap. So
We're just
we're
connecting everyone together.
yeah, we do. But so we had a lot of people. I think pretty successful that orders got to everybody on time.
Yeah, there was one international guy that was complaining that it didn't get to him quick enough, but international is tough. We cannot inside the US we can kind of guarantee shipping dates because we know roughly what it takes. International, unfortunately, we're just succumbed to the customs. It got to customs, 10 days earlier, and it just hadn't left yet. There's just nothing we can do, unfortunately.
Yeah, so we do the best we can, and if there's always going to be one or two or something.
I think almost all the calendars got there. We didn't lose any this year.
Wow,
which is good.
That's good. And I know friends that we sent them to and stuff that got them, which was really cool. We forgot to give Pete one.
Oh yeah, Pete was just here.
Dang it. Oh well.
I have a pile of them in the warehouse. I'll have to put them on the bandsaw again, like we do every year for people that come and go in and out of the shop. They can just be like, "Oh, can I get a calendar?"
Yep, all our visitors.
Yeah.
So that's going on. We have the Allentown, Pennsylvania indoor winter flea market that the Carlisle Swap Meet people run. Autorama. They run. That's in the mid to end of January.
Yep.
As always, we'll be set up there. We'll put the dates in this down below.
Right there.
It's a good excuse to go and get out in the winter and visit with some friends. You're probably not going to find some epic, amazing deal or whatever. But
3 vendors that do really old parts. Everyone else is kind of like muscle car stuff.
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything. It's a good time, but I've heard people that have complained that are like, "Oh, there ain't shit there." It's like
it's a small indoor.
It's small indoor, yeah. In the middle of the winter, just be glad you can go and do something and talk to friends.
If you go Friday and Saturday, you can go across the street to the Allentown Farmers Market and get some good food for lunch.
Yeah, the farmers market's really good also.
I walk over there every year. Instead of getting a hamburger from the food stand in Ag Hall, I walk across the street and get some good Pennsylvania Dutch potato salad.
But it's a good time. We always try and set up, and we will set up, and we are there hanging out. It's good just to kind of check in with people and talk about what you're working on and whatever else. And
all 4 of us will be there in the booth at some point. Steve always comes on Saturday for a little bit. Yeah, all of us will be cycling in and out.
Friday, Saturday is usually we're there, and then Sunday you said Luke might.
I think I convinced Luke to go in Sunday morning to hang out, and then I'll come in the afternoon and help him pack up.
Perfect. I will not be there.
Yes. I usually don't go till pack up time.
But if somebody wants to go on Sunday for a last minute high five,
T-shirt,
whatever, or buy a part for $10 million. Luke will also take your $10 million.
10 million only. All the parts on Sunday.
Yes.
We do the opposite. Sunday it gets more expensive. They don't get
Yeah,
cheaper.
yeah. Everybody else is trying to discount it. Discount. It's like our whole booth, $10 million. That's it. One money.
Yes.
It hasn't happened yet.
I do want to say the Model T has sold. We are awaiting the deposit.
It's
on
pending.
Pending.
Pending sale.
Pending sale. We're waiting on a deposit. So if you are interested in it, let me know and I will put you on a list in case the deal falls through.
Yep.
But as the time being it is pending, I'm going to mark it on the website to reflect that as well. I don't think we have any other things really going on.
Yeah, we have some. As always with wintertime, we usually have estates that we're kind of. We already broke my rule by doing the Connecticut thing kind of in the winter, but we try not to do any major moving of parts in the wintertime. It's just not fun. Even if we go somewhere warm to get the parts, when we get back here, it's cold. So we try not to do that. Plus, we have so much inventory and stuff between the two properties that it's getting to be a little bit of a pain. So it's like, at least in the winter, we can try and get through some pallets of stuff. And so you're seeing Mike listing, fresh stuff I can't stress that enough, that almost every day.
I was listening to stuff yesterday on Christmas.
Yeah, so almost every day, even Christmas, we're listing new stuff for sale because Mike takes hundreds of photos and his phone has, backlog of photos of stuff to sell. So whenever he gets a free moment, he lists them. So
yeah, there's stuff that's from the summer that I'm still I take large batches of photos and I just keep, sometimes it's all of the same stuff. So it gets very repetitive list. So I stop. So if you go through the photos and you see stuff on like nice green grass, it's because I photographed it like 6 months ago.
yeah. That's from our southern location.
Yes.
Mike's photographing. He's in California, in our California location.
It'd be nice there right now.
We also are planning to do our Grand National trip for a little bit. So Mike and I are going to go for a few days and check out the show and shoot a couple podcasts and visit with some people. So
yeah, I'm excited.
Should be fun. We're not setting up or doing anything like that. Just if you happen to see us walking around, just give us a high five.
Can't imagine what it costs to put a booth there.
I don't know.
It's got to be pretty expensive.
Yeah, it's probably booked up every year too. I would think. But I've always had pipe dreams of it. The Swede Palace. It would be really cool to have a booth, or a car and a booth in there. It would just be neat to do, bucket list type item. But I don't know if we're organized enough to ever.
I don't know if I want to drive all the way across the country either.
Yeah, I think it would be cool if you're not rushing.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's wintertime.
When are we? Not
but
rushing?
we would not rush. We'll go.
Let me know how that works out.
We'll go down through the south. You got Luke handling the packages.
Yeah, that's true.
Steve's tinkering in the shop, keeping things going. We got him filming videos. So we pretty much got this turnkey.
We can just go fuck off now. Yeah,
we just got to teach Steve how to upload clips to the cloud or the internet.
So I can edit them?
Yeah, so you can.
That might be a stretch. Steve's not very technologically advanced. He has a hard time texting videos to either of us.
Yeah, but he is doing on-camera stuff, and he kind of, in the beginning, acted like he did not want to be on camera.
Just keep beating it into his head. Be like, this is how you have to upload it.
Eventually, he'll get it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of some of our update stuff that's going on. But yeah, we won't have a ton of adventure stuff right now, but we're always planning stuff for the spring. So we're already trying to line up some of our spring stuff with different leads we have and things going on. So that's exciting. We put out a video today, which is
Friday. Yeah, we put it out today, which is Friday. This comes out on Sunday, so no one.
A couple days ago.
Yes.
I never know when anything comes out. A couple days ago, we put out a video. If you guys missed it, it was the lost episode.
Yes.
So we put out an episode from Florida that we referenced in the podcast before, where we went to an estate and there was some potential family drama, so we took the episode down. It's been a couple years now, and we figured that if there is any fuel to the fire that we're adding, we're out of the picture by now, and it won't whatever. So we put that episode up. It's pretty cool. My buddy Jason and I went down to Florida, southernish Florida.
Yeah, it was like right before Christmas.
Yeah, it was, and we went and did that little trip, and it was pretty fun one. And he and I.
Did you make a stop on the way back too? Didn't you stop in Maryland and pick up 35.6 parts?
Oh yeah, we stopped at a viewer's place. Yeah, on the way back, I forgot about that, and that ended up being the engine that went in the ruined Roadster.
Yep.
And the rear might be under your car.
No, my car. The rear from my car came from Seattle,
Okay.
from Will. But all the brakes that were.
The rear went in something else.
Did it go in the 38?
No, because it was 35.6 rear, I think. I don't know. But yeah, the brakes, I think, went on the ruined Roadster. Yep. And
Bunch of stuff.
We got a bunch of stuff, but that was cool that that engine, we hopped it up a little bit, put it in, and Brian is driving the crap out of that thing. It's pretty cool to see how much he's digging that car. I feel like anytime he also travels a lot, so I feel like anytime he's home and it's not snowing, he's been driving. So he's been driving it in the cold. He's like he's doing these fun Instagram stories. He's like, hey, I'm gonna go rip the car around. It's 39 degrees today.
All bundled up and
he's
with
all
a
bundled
scarf
up,
and a
taking
hat.
a ride.
Yeah.
He used it in his. He has a Christmas album that he just put out.
Yeah, that's
and
killer.
It was the cover art, and his wife and him used it for a ton of promotional stuff. I got a Christmas card. I don't know if I showed you that.
No.
He mailed me a Christmas card with a photo of them.
Oh, that's killer.
In front of the Roadster, that was their
That's
Christmas cards this
awesome.
year. So
I did send him a DM when he put the album came out on like Spotify. I was like, "Are you doing it on?" I collect vinyl records, a small amount, not a lot. I was like, "Are you doing it on vinyl? Because I will buy that just because the green cars will be on the cover, just so I can have it.
Yeah,
and it could Christmas music for the kids. But I was like, I just want the album art for the green Roadster on the front of it.
That is cool. So yeah, that's pretty neat. So, anyways, you check that episode out. It's an adventure video that we did a while back and are able to repost. I'm actually going to go rewatch it probably tonight because I kind of totally forgot about half the stuff.
There's a bunch of hilarious clips of you digging through boxes with all the bugs coming out. And jump out of the way and the scatter. Cats.
Oh God, that was one of the ones where we like threw our clothes away or our sneakers away at the end after we were done because it was just.
I remember loading all the parts and the box truck smelled like cat piss.
Yeah, it was hard to get rid of that smell, unfortunately. But so yeah, that's going on. So today. Our topic is we were kind of talking about what struck a chord is Mike put a clip in one of the more recent Week in the Life of videos of him just doing some slow donuts with his kids in his 34, and a lot of people resonated with people, and in the comments there's a lot of people that commented and were like, oh, I remember my father having a 69 XYZ insert car here, and it had this hopped up engine, and he took me out and did donuts in the snow, and I'll never forget that. And it's like we started thinking about, there's all these like time honored traditions in the hobby, and a lot of them are either like key things that will kind of get you hooked, or is maybe it's the catalyst for why you are so into cars or into the culture, or it is the thing that helped you get over these hurdles when you're younger, or learn, or all those things. There's all these traditions, and as I get older, I start thinking about them more. I notice stuff more, and some of it I just do automatically, and then and now I'm starting to think, you know what? That's like, it's like weird to be like, when I saw your video of you and your kids, I was like, that's something that like they're like when they're older, they're gonna be like, remember that? I could see them as adults being like, remember that time
we were doing donuts?
Dad took us out and did donuts in the snow. Do you remember that? He had that old white, whatever. And like, I have memories of stuff like that. And you're like, some of it gets foggy, because you were pretty young, but like, that's something that's pretty epic in their mind.
Oh yeah,
and it's gonna stick with them. So like, there's all these traditions, and I think what people don't realize is some of this stuff is what actually keeps this hobby, keeps the culture, keeps the
keeps the spark alive.
Yeah, and I think in a day and age where people take a lot of this stuff for granted, or maybe some of the simple things in life, like that's one of those things that a lot of people are very hands off. Oh my God, it's so dangerous, whatever. It's like they could get hurt more riding, like you weren't going 100 miles an
No,
hour. Like
there was some that left a comment. They were like, "Those are the world's slowest donuts." I'm like, I was doing it in the neighborhood that I live in,
Yes.
so I don't want to be a total dickhead. And my kids were also in the car with no seatbelts, just like sitting on the front
Yeah,
seat. And we're doing
it's like-
donuts. So I was being an adult while still also being a kid at the same
yeah,
time.
there's a way to do things in a, that would have been a lot different if it was just you in an open field.
Yeah.
But like he's just trying to really let the kids experience that. But I was started thinking about a lot of the like tradition, time honored traditions of different stuff that helps you get over the hurdles, get different things like that. So like I think like I thought about on my end, like with my nephew Evan helps a lot, and Evan's very ahead of the curve for his age group or anyone for doing this type of stuff. But even some of the stuff he's doing now with me, like just this past week, he was welding in. I'm seeing some of this stuff happen. So like Evan, a couple years ago, he was getting decent in MIG welding, and he my brother's like I think he wants to learn how to TIG weld. And Evan, I gave him kind of like some crash courses on TIG welding, and he really, there we go, tightening the mic stand. He kind of took to it as expected and started doing it on his own. And then I upgraded Eastwood MIG welders. So I gave him my old MIG welder that has a TIG function. He started practicing at home. And now, like, fast forward a couple years, he's proficient enough at TIG welding that he can kind of TIG weld a bunch of stuff.
Didn't he just make an exhaust for his
made
dirt bike?
2 now. He's made what are they called?
Expansion chambers.
He made expansion chambers from scratch for a 2-stroke 3-wheeler he has. These wild freaking zoomy pipes, expansion chambers from scratch. And then he just made one for a motorcycle, a dirt bike that he's putting together.
The one on the dirt bike at 90s out of the jug, goes up, and then 90s again, all while being an expansion chamber. It's wild.
It's crazy. So he's making it out of all these little pieces, and he's using my pipe anvil to make the pieces that Winfield and I made in a class. And it's like all this stuff, the trickle-down effect of all these different things. So it's like, it's really cool because I watched him teach him how to TIG weld, and then he's starting to learn, and he's doing his own little projects, and he's kind of going from there. And then, the other day I was like, he was over here hanging out, and he didn't really have anything to work on in his project. I was like, well, we got this drag car, the old 32 Roadster drag car that we're reviving. And I'm like, oh, there's some patches on the frame that I haven't gotten to that need to be done. They're just the bottom flange is crusty. It's not like crazy structural, anything like that. And I'm like, if you want, we could flip the frame over and you want to cut the piece out, make it. But he's, I also taught him patch panel stuff on his little pickup truck. So it's like all these things. Now he's at the point where he's got the skills to start doing hot rod type stuff for, classic cars. He's been working on whatever stuff. So like, I think a lot of people, that's how we all started. It's like you start working on, my father taught me how to make sparks with the MIG welder. And it was kind of like I was fixing a broken bicycle frame, and then I'm fixing my own, daily driver German cars, and then I started customizing German cars, and then I got into the hot rod and custom thing and really got into the TIG welding. So it's like all that started with, my dad going, here's how you make sparks, fix your bicycle that you keep breaking, like my BMX bike. So Evan's doing that. My brother taught him how to MIG weld, and he has now gotten to the point where he's probably better at welding than my brother is.
When did he start MIG welding? Because how old is Evan? He's 14, 15?
I think he's 14 now.
And you taught him TIG welding like almost 2 years ago.
Probably 2 years ago. And I think he's been MIG welding for 5, 7. My nephew
Nate's age.
He's way ahead of the curve.
He was rebuilding automatic transmissions at like 10.
Yeah. Like being from my family and how, like, it's, yeah, like not everybody's kids take to it. My brother has other children. I have another niece and nephew, and they maybe haven't taken as much interest. And that's how a lot of people are. But like when there's an interest, that's where we were getting at with the tradition. It's like we've had younger people here. We had Andrew that was here for years, and he showed an interest. I kind of took him under my wing. He helped me. I showed him a bunch of stuff, and it's like you can't expect them to stay forever, or be into your little what you're into. So like that's what I try and not do with Evan. Like I would love for him to build a traditional hot rod or custom, but it's like I ask him every now and then, and he seems like mildly interested. He seems more interested in just tinkering on stuff, but he's not like, man, I want to build a roadster or something like some people are. And it's like he's into other stuff. So it's kind of like I'm not into a Ford Ranger project, but I wanted to help him learn things. So that's what Andrew was. Andrew was here, and we were kind of like showing him, and now he's a machinist.
Yeah.
You know, he's in a full-grown damn adult.
Yes.
And he is a machinist. You know, last time I talked to him, he was working at a machine shop for a while now, and it's like making good money. And he like brought a little tear to my eye when I saw him at Wheels of Time last year or the year before, and he was like, I still use little tips and things that you showed me when I was first started helping you when he was like 14. And it's like, that's kind of crazy. So like when you start thinking like that, the little stupid things that you do as an adult for younger people or people just getting into the hobby, how impactful it is. It's like kind of crazy. So I try and think about that stuff a lot more. So we were talking about like car shows.
Yeah, kind of always like, especially at Wheels of Time in our booth, there's always people coming in and out. And anytime we see kids, like our friend Kenny has a young son.
Oh yeah.
He was super like, he did care less about the hot rods. He saw the big red truck. He was like, oh, and just super excited. I was like, do you want to open the door? You could sit in it. And he was just like standing on the seat because he's still little. So standing on the seat and messing with the steering wheel. It's like seeing that is like the coolest thing ever. Because you never know, that might be a memory in 10 to 15 years from now that'll just spark and be like, I want to build a big truck. That was so cool sitting in that thing when I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. We see that a lot of some of these multi-day shows like that. And Wheels of Time's we talk about that a lot. That's just the one we go to that's local to us. You insert your back to the 50s, whatever big show that you go to every year. Those are the kind of shows where you see a lot more of like bringing the grandkids, bringing the kids along kind of stuff. And like that's where I try not to be stuffy with like when the kids are getting. Now, of course, you got a shiny car and there's some kid that's, something's going to happen to damage the car. But like, if there's a kid that's generally interested, let them check it out. Or if the parents are, like, we get instances where the parents are trying to be like, don't touch, like, be careful, these cars, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, what do you want to sit in? And you open the door and you let, they place them in the car and take a photo. Like, I think that stuff's important. It really, again, they could remember that.
I have a lot of photos of Nate sitting in just about every car you've had.
Yeah, they've all, and like I remember the meat truck, my niece and nephews used to come over and visit me like for the holidays or whatever, and they would get in the meat truck and the same like going and hitting the horn and doing all the stuff, and you just got to make sure with these old cars, obviously the handbrake's on, it's out of gear, take the key out of it, all that kind of stuff. But like it's kind of neat to do that. So like when we see people generally interested, so I try and I find myself sometimes, like, even just driving old cars all the time, like, regularly. We talk about it a lot. Like, I just drive them like normal cars. So when you drive your old cars like normal cars, you run into people everywhere. Gas stations, wherever you're going, and people are curious.
Yep.
And sometimes you get people that are just, maybe annoying or whatever. They catch you at the wrong moment. You're not really interested in having a
drawn-out. They call it a rat rod.
Yeah, whatever the thing is. And I used to be less friendly with people when I was at a gas station or whatever. Not that I was mean to people, but like, just like, I'm trying to, get gas and go. Now I'm more like, especially if it's like I've had stuff at gas stations where it's like a teen or a 20-something, and they're driving not something I'm into, whatever it is, and they're like, man, cool car or whatever, and you're like, thanks, man, whatever, and like take the minute to like be genuine and be like, yeah, cool. It's, I just got it on the road or whatever. Give them a couple. And if they want to reciprocate and ask questions, don't just like hop in your car and go. Like have that extra 2 sentences. And they're like, whoa, that's cool. Because, that's the stuff that might make them when they, give them the itch to build something older or whatever.
And what's cool with us is, Matt and I were both into imports. So I had it happen, even the cabriolet. Stop at a gas station. There's someone driving like, I was into Hondas and stuff like that, and they'll be driving a Honda and be like, hey, what's up? And then you ask questions about their car, and they're like, oh, that's, because there's always that, like, people feel like there's a divide between American cars and imports, and it's kind of nice to just be like, hey, man, I like your car. What's up with that? And it feels like two vastly different worlds.
Yeah.
And you could show that there's some sort of commonality. We're all into cars, no matter it's a hot rod or an import. It's all cool stuff to me.
Right.
Try and like show that, like, yeah, I used to be into imports, but I'm into ancient cars now, like really old shit.
So I think some of that stuff is important, and I think being mindful of those moments when somebody does try and talk to you at a car show or whatever, or take the moment to have a conversation with somebody. And a good example of something like that's not necessarily a young person, but like Luke that now works for us.
Yeah.
For years, Luke's been coming into our booth. He was just a fan of the channel, and he would come in and ask questions or look at the cars, and like we saw interest in that, and we were always cordial with him, and we weren't like dickheads to him. And
I used to see him at Home Depot.
Oh, yeah, you used to tell me. I'd be like, oh, yeah, one guy that's into our channel, I see him at Home Depot.
Yeah, Luke used to work at Home Depot. That's like 5 miles from my house, and I would always go there for supplies. And we'd see him all the time. It's so much that Nate knows him as the Home Depot guy. And like,
why is the Home Depot guy hanging out at Uncle Matt's?
Nate didn't realize that he was the same person.
Oh.
So we were at Home Depot, I don't know, like a month or two ago. He's like, where's that guy that like we'd always talk to at Home Depot? Because Luke used to have real long hair too.
Oh, right.
So whenever we'd see him that just Nate has that picture, and I'm like, that's the same guy that works for us. That's Luke. It's like, oh really? It's like, yeah. That's the Home Depot guy is Luke that works for us.
He's like mind blown.
Yeah, doesn't understand.
Worlds collide.
Because he was just
so wait, Uncle Matt owns Home Depot. You're like, no.
I wish.
You see where a kid's like, no, is not.
The kid brain starts making all these wild connections.
You're like, no. I'm not saying that. So yeah, like that's a good.
Yeah, he would stop me every time I was in there and just be like, so what's new? What's going on? Especially in the wintertime, because we would see him at Carlisle, Hershey, Wheels of Time. So I go in there in winter and he'd be like, what are you guys up to? Anything new? I haven't had a chance to watch any recent videos. What's going on?
Yeah.
Chat for 10, 15 minutes and be like, all right, Nate's bouncing off the walls like a wild kid. Be like, well, I got to get going because he's going to break something.
Right, yeah. So I think that part. But then there's the time-honored traditions of like when you get to actually building a car, doing whatever. So like for me, nowadays, the one big thing for me is I have a shop that's outfitted pretty good with tools and all the stuff, and trying to offer to friends, family, anyone that's in our circle. It's like if someone needs a tool or you need me to quick weld something for it and you bring it by, like to just do it for them. Like I feel like that's one of those like traditions that like when I was younger, there was always the older friends that had better tools or more tools, or maybe a professional, their dad owned an actual repair garage and they would let you bring your car in to use the lift for like on a Sunday or something like that. And like that's the stuff that now giving back, it's like, so one thing I think of is our friend Josh Gallagher, that J&H Automotive, like his father Harry, they have a repair garage forever since, and when we were in the German car stuff, his dad used to, do exhaust for us and bring our cars in, and we had issues with, rubbing through the exhaust, just stupid kid stuff. I had weird wheels with weird tires that other shops wouldn't mount. He would let me use the tire machine. So it's like all that stuff. And I wasn't even like that long ago, maybe 15 years ago or something like that. Like that stuff was so cool and important to me because he didn't need to do that. He was running a business making real money.
Yeah.
And these shithead kids are coming in and he's letting us use, not kids, but young shithead guys.
To Harry, they're kids.
Yeah, to him, they're kids. Coming in. And now what's really cool is, I still go in there and buy like, exhaust stuff from them for doing on the cars and whatever, and stop and visit them. And like his dad's so stoked on what we're doing. They all are, but like his dad's so stoked, and for him that has to be cool to see from what we were doing to what we're doing now, and his dad and how it's progressed. So I see that stuff on our end. It's like, helping somebody out with making a piece or whatever. And it all kind of came full circle for me because, I don't know, a couple summers ago, Josh called me and his sons are now racing like micro midgets or whatever
Yep.
they are, dirt racing, and they were making new body skin pieces that maybe they damaged or making new ones. And he called me randomly out of the blue on a Saturday or something. Was like, "Hey man, I need a big brake. Do you think we can use? Do you have a brake?" I'm like, "Dude, I got an 8-foot brake. Come over right now." And he came over and bent up the pieces like all full circle. Now for his kids,
Yep.
he's coming over bending using my tools that they don't have at their shop. So it's like I try and do that a lot. Like if I have tools or if you got something that it's going to help somebody with their build.
It is funny sometimes we'll just see random friends pull and I walk out of the parts but I'm like, hey, what are you here for? I'm like, Matt said I could use the brake. I'm like, okay, go right ahead.
Yeah.
Like
and
Dan's here every now and then.
Yeah. I have some like old friends that like even Mike's like never met them.
Yeah.
He's like, who's that guy? I'm like, oh, this is this dude that like I went to high school with, and then or we used to ride BMX together. I haven't seen him in years, and he just texted me and asked if he could use the XYZ, and it's like, yeah, sure, man, whatever. So, and like my buddy Dan, that helped us with doing a bunch of the wood stuff. He's a a cabinet maker now, and doing all that. He got an old Ford truck, and he flathead powered. And then he was like texting me about questions about it after he got it. And it's like, then he's all of a sudden he's coming over and asking to use tools and stuff like that. And it's like, it's just funny how, that idea, but especially when it comes to guys that are trying to like build cars for the first time, it's the same thing with the parts. I'm probably even more so helpful with that since Pete took us under his wing, because Pete is like, our friend Pete, who's like second father to all of us, if anybody's ever known Pete for a long time or anybody we talk to, he's always been the guy that just like gives parts away all the time. Like that's the stories I hear even, let's say in the 70s, a guy needed a part, he would just show up to the next show with the part and give it to the guy. So like I've taken that and we do that a lot. I'm just like, here's a part, here's a whatever. You need that? Like the one that I like, because also Pete likes, and I've also taken into this, surprising people.
Yes.
It's like really fun. So Pete does that a lot. It's like you just surprise the guy with the part. So like we did it last year for Grand National. We never really talked about this.
Oh yeah.
The couple guys from the Cavaliers.
That's right. Yeah.
Hit us up. The one guy, Rick, I talk to all the time. He messaged me and was like, hey man, one of the guys in the club is trying to get his coupe together, really nice coupe that they painted. It's he's trying to get it to Grand National, I think in the Suede Palace or one of the buildings. So, yeah. And he's like the trans that we got from somebody is like not good. They'd opened it up, about to put it in the car, it's blown up or whatever happened, they couldn't use it. And he's like, man, do you know anybody or you got gears or whatever? I'm like, dude, we got a trans like on the shelf. Oh, all right. Well, he's I don't remember if he said he was on a budget or whatever, but I was like, we'll send it out. You'll have it like
I think
really?
I sent it like next day.
We sent it like next day or 2-day air. Not as a business owner, that is not a good financial decision as a small business owner.
Yes.
But for me, that I like that was just cool to be like, pay it forward. Like, here you go. And he's like, no shit. And I'm like, dude. And they got the car to the show and like. So that's like, and all that comes from time-honored traditions of helping people out. We're fortunate enough with the business that we get good shipping rates and stuff like that. So like, in the end of the day, we sent him a trans. I don't even know the guy in the club.
Was it a trans or a shifter top that he needed?
I thought it was a whole damn trans, but maybe it was maybe it was just the shifter top.
I think it was a shifter top because we were supposed to take it out to them.
Oh, it wasn't a trans. Okay.
I think it was a shifter top, and we were supposed to take it out to them, but we had to cancel. So I had to ship it like next day air.
Oh, that's right. Wow, my storytelling's terrible. Good thing Mike's here to keep me straight. We did not ship a trans.
Something else you picked up from Pete.
Yeah, I have terrible memory. So, anyways, but they got the car together.
Yes.
That's right. It wasn't a 39 shifter top.
Yeah,
or whatever.
they bought a trans that was like apart, and they went to put the shifter top on. It was the wrong shifter top and wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So we next day aired because we canceled like the weekend before Grand National, so we had to send it out like that Monday as soon as possible.
Yeah, so he got the car. He got the car together. Whatever my poor way of telling the story is. Shifter top, not a trans.
Cut all that out.
That's how not involved I am in some of this stuff. Mike, get this out to these
Send them
guys.
what they need.
Yeah, get them out. But like that's the stuff that is, I like helping people out, and we've had a lot of local friends that like
No, 100% all the time.
all the
Not
time.
all the time, but quite often.
And like I have all these Strombergs over here. People ask us, and I don't really sell them. That's like one of my quotes I always say. It's like we don't work on other people's cars, but I'll work on a friend's car for free.
Yeah.
Carburetors aren't for sale, but if it's going to help a friend out or somebody get going, I've sold or given carbs to people. Yeah. So that's where I've seen and learned from some of the other guys. It's like if you have a ton of extra stuff or whatever, it's like in the end of the day, I probably paid nothing or next to, when you even it all out and do car guy math, the part was probably free or next to free that you're giving away. And if it helps a friend get their car on the road or whatever, and we've had literally like customers come over, and we've just like, remember we had a guy that needed like some kind of linkage or something that was for, the guy came over and needed some kind of linkage for Strombergs or something. I forget, or fittings. I don't remember, but it was just like, no, we don't have any for sale, but I have a cabinet full and you can have them, and I forgot about it. And like months or a year later, the guy came to buy something else. He's like, hey, thanks for that linkage. It worked out really good. I don't
remember. There was another, remember the guy's wife that is now Kate's client? Remember he came and bought some parts and he was trying to find linkage?
That's the guy I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, you gave him one. Okay.
Yeah.
He was going to shorten it. That's right. You gave him one.
Yeah, and I'm like,
same guy as the wife's that now Kate's
I
client.
didn't realize that was the same guy.
Same guy, yeah.
Wow, that's
he was
crazy.
the guy that also used to bring us boxes all the time.
Okay, yeah.
Now we just have so many boxes, he doesn't bring them anymore because I politely asked.
Slow down.
Yeah, too many.
But like that kind of stuff is the time-honored tradition, like just helping, and that's where I think way back in the day, hot rod clubs and car clubs, that's what it started out with, where a lot of car clubs now are more of a, and I can't say all clubs are that way. There was a lot of clubs that were just social clubs or drinking clubs back in the day, I'm sure, but like that's what in my head, that's what
that's the point of a car club, is to have a community that helps each other.
Yeah, build stuff,
cars.
parts, whatever.
Yeah.
And, so we're not, that I don't need to strictly be a friend all the time. Now, sure, I'm not going to give like a rare part for free just because you can't like email and be like, I need Hillborn for a flathead.
What's the best you can do?
Hey, can you give this to me?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get lots of people randomly stopping in now.
But try and help out. I've also had people that have helped me out over the years. And like I said, Pete, doing that for me really helped me understand, because when I was first getting real heavy into this, there was times that he gave me, like on my Model A Coupe, I was looking for some like vintage, shitty, old throttle linkage for a dual carb. I just didn't have anything that looked the part. Went over to his place, he let me dig around the drawers, and I found these old like copper brass homemade pieces that I just like modified, and they're on the car, and it was like perfect. And I remember that, I'm like, man, that's so cool. Like he didn't need to give me those. He just was like, yeah, come dig around.
And we kind of do something with the parts business as well, where like when someone buys a car from us, we
take care of them.
Take care of them parts wise. Like as a business, it'd be much smarter to just sell them a car, and then we'll gladly sell you parts, but the price is the price.
Yeah.
But like everyone we sell cars to, if they want to buy additional stuff from them, we hook, especially if it's going towards the vehicle that we sold them. Like it's a project.
Take care of
them.
We
hook them up as much as we can. That we're still making some profit, but we're not making full blown retail. We always hook them up with whatever they get first dibs on parts too. Like if we sell them a car without garnish molding, the first set of garnish molding we get for that car, call them right away and be like, hey, you still need a set?
It's going to be discounted, and they're getting first shot at stuff. So we try and I mean, most of our customers, we try and, for the most part, like feel like friends, like, so we want everybody to feel that way. That's the whole vibe. And we want to help people out as much as we can, within reason. Of course, we're still trying to keep the lights on, so we have to make some money, but it's like, we'll flex, especially with somebody like that all the time. But like some of the traditions, as far as like I see some of the time-honored traditions of people that customers and friends and people that are having problems with stuff, and I try and remind myself of that when I'm having problems with different cars or finding out problems. It's like, this has been going on, flatheads have had the same problem since their inception.
Yeah, since they rolled off the factory
And
floor.
it's like we're running into stuff that you're just like, you get so frustrated. You're like, oh God, why am I so dumb? It's like, yeah, but think about how many times this has happened to other people.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard the story of putting the rear together wrong and having all reverse gears.
Yeah.
So we've seen, those are like the things that I've never done it, but it's,
It happens.
it happens. So like some of that stuff we get to see it with customers, and we try and actually, I guess sometimes we try and stop those traditions. So we'll like tell people like, don't do this, it isn't going to work, or this is, when we have customers that hit us up. But like there's that the time-honored tradition of running out of gas.
Yep.
That if you have an old car, I feel like that I'm ahead of the curve on that. I run out of gas in all my fucking cars. It's terrible. No, most of my shit doesn't have working gas gauges.
Yep, I'm ahead of the curve. I did it in the parking lot, not far from here. I was smart about it. I made sure to run out of gas close.
He got it out of the way quickly. But like, it's just some of that stuff. Like, almost anybody that's been driving old cars has probably had an instance where you ran it out of gas, or your gas gauge was wrong, or whatever stupid stuff.
For someone that is you that has run out of gas so many times, you think you'd be so hyper aware it never happens anymore?
I am hyper aware
to a point, but not enough.
I think some of my problems now, some of the times that it happens is straight up laziness. I'll be like, I don't feel like stopping at that gas station. There's like all the pumps are taken, and I don't feel like sitting and waiting. I'll go to the next one. And you go to the next one, and you're like, oh, shit, that gas station's closed because they're redoing the pumps.
I don't know how you never ran your your new truck out of gas.
Gotten close.
For reference,
super close.
I've known Matt a very long time. Every time I've ever gotten in a pickup of his, it has always been on E, and his current truck, it tells you how many miles to E for years.
Terrible thing.
Years. You would get it, it'd be like under 10 miles to empty.
I went and picked Evan up this morning because he's off from school, and I think it said like 40 miles to E or
that's
30,
actually pretty decent.
That's pretty decent.
A lot of times it'd be like,
but I'll drive it like that. Yeah,
5 miles, 1 mile. I've gotten in it to drive it to like go do something, and it like start the truck. It's like 1 mile to empty. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
Here you can make it to empty, and then you get 20 miles from empty. Technically,
I think your display is just the scaling's all messed up because it's out on E all the time.
It is pretty much, but that's like a thing. People have a story, and that's like key memories. It's some of my, at the time they were annoying, but like some of them funny memories. Like I got my Model A Coupe on the road for the first time, or on the road, and it started getting reliable enough. I was just taking it out and driving it around, without any worry. And I went somewhere, and on the way home, I ran it out of gas by one of the schools here, and I had to call Kate. And I remember she came with the gas can, brought me fuel in the coupe with Moon, and Moon. I think that was the first time Moon rode in my coupe with me.
Oh, really?
On the street, and. But she won't ever let me forget that. Remember that time 10 years ago, that you did whatever. But most of the memories of running out of fuel are kind of funny. You talk about it and you're like, oh, are you kidding me? And it happens. You're just you're so annoyed or angry at the moment, but after it's all said and done, it's just a funny,
yeah,
whatever. So a lot of them are like that. And Evan riding around with me in hot rods now that he's hangs out a little bit more. We've had the times together, and I'm sure Nate and you will have some of this stuff.
Yeah, we already have them. The big red truck.
No, but I was gonna say, breaking down with a younger person. Now again, Evan's ahead of the curve. He's been around my brother has all kinds of I use junk affectionately because I have junk. Like old tractors, old machines, old whatever that all have secret handshakes.
Yeah.
And whatever. So he's not as alarmed by it, but Evan and I, the one time we ran to the local flea market in the 32 Roadster after it died on Kate and I coming back from drag racing it, and I thought I fixed the problem, but I didn't fix the problem, and he and I went to Jake's to the flea market, and it drove okay on the way there. We started up, ran a little funny, and on the way home I took a back way, and then the thing died on me. It was I forget.
Nate already does have a memory. Every time we pass that Turkey Hill on Route 100, do you know what he says?
Oh, that was when Kate and I died. Yeah,
He goes, Uncle Matt's car broke down in that parking lot. And we came and saved him with the trailer.
that's right.
It literally last weekend when we came to, I had to sell some stuff at the mill on a Saturday. Just randomly driving. He's in the back. Karen, the whole family's with. Just driving and just sitting there waiting at the traffic light. He goes, that's a gas station Uncle Matt broke down at. I'm like, every single time we drive by, I don't have to prompt anything. That's just his memory.
He'll always remember,
Yes.
as he gets older, he'll remember that,
Yep.
thing. And that was...
That kid doesn't forget anything. He's going to kick you in the balls about that for the rest of your life.
I don't really care.
Do you remember when Dad and I came and saved you at the gas station with the truck and trailer?
That was so that, Evan and I, same thing, broke down, pushed it. He and I pushed it into a neighbor's driveway and said, hey, we'll be right back, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Kate came and grabbed us. We went and got the red truck. We winched it up with the red truck and then, brought it home and, and it fixed it and it is what it is. But like all those memories of doing all that stuff, that's even the bad stuff is good. In the end of the day, I sometimes forget that stuff and I do get annoyed or worked up, at the moment about some of that stuff. Car not running right, or, breaking down, or is it going to break down? That's like my worst thing, I think, is that I'm always like, you want everything to go perfectly all the time. And we are forever shaking cars down. Like, we're always building new cars and building them out of junk and whatever. And you're forever, or changing them. As soon as they get reliable, you change 10 things and then you start the process over again. So, like, I'm always like, I sometimes get so stressed about, like, it's going to is it running a little funny or is it, you get also, it's like, in the end of the day, it's even less worrisome than back in the day because we have cell phones. Like, if I break down, I'll just call somebody. I'll get, whatever. And I find myself sometimes getting, like, too hyper aware or too worried about whatever. And it's like, just go and do it. If you break down, you break down. And, in the end of the day, it's a minor inconvenience.
Yeah.
We're not driving these vehicles daily. So it's not like it's 10 degrees outside and you got to get to work and your 32 Roadster's broken outside a road like real men had to do back in the day. It's not 1933 and your Roadster has to get you to work and it broke down. Like, you don't have to hand crank your Model T.
Yeah, boy, am I glad we have modern convenience of heated vehicles with easily starting engines.
Yeah, that stuff, but so some of those traditions of breaking down and fixing it on the side of the road and, and all that stuff. And I give much respect to the guys that are doing cross-country trips in old cars at the drop of a dime and they're fixing them on the side of the road. I still probably have a little bit of too much anxiety over that. That's something I'd like to get past and do eventually. But it's more a me problem than probably the car. A lot of times, like, because that's what's funny. I've sold cars over the years that I would, like, taken and driven around, and then you sell it to somebody else, and they have no worries at all, and they just get in it and go. Freiburger's a good example.
Yeah, we could have drove that across country.
We bought the 39 for me, and he called me and said, hey, I bought, whatever, and he told me what he was going to do with it, and he's like, we're going to do a roadkill. And I was like, dude, that thing only has, like, it's got, like, 378 gears and a 39 trans, and, like, 60 miles an hour is probably pushing that damn thing. And he's like, I know, it's fine. I don't, it is what we don't care. And I'm like, just letting you know, like, I was making a thing out of it, and he didn't give a shit. They drive all kinds of stuff. So he's probably the worst person to talk to about that because he doesn't care about, he does it all the time. So it's like so normal for them to just jump in whatever piece of junk and drive. And I'm like, this was my piece of junk. Like, I don't want to look bad, So, like, I was trying to warn him about everything. And, they had a couple little odds and ends, but they drove it quite a distance. Not cross country, but they drove it further than I drove it in one shot. I drove it around a lot, but I didn't drive it, like they did.
A full day.
Yeah, like full days of driving and in the rain and all that stuff. And that was what, that was a good example. It's like we built a car that was reliable enough to do all that. I just never did it because it was a me problem, not a car problem necessarily. And yes, putting highway gears in it would have made it easier. But like people were doing that stuff back in the day with 411s and 378s. You went as fast as the car would let you go. Not, It's not a big deal.
No.
So, but I think that's some of those time-honored traditions. I also think that we talk about a lot with the swap meets and hunting for parts, that a lot of people are getting, like, they want everything now. So even in modern times of hot rodding and custom cars, like, we run into it with customers a lot of times. So they're just like, they're in such a rush to get XYZ part, which I get that way too. But like, you're so used to ordering something on Amazon and next day you have it. It's like, part of the process and the time honored tradition is hunting for this stuff. Back in the day, you would go to junkyards and things like that. We don't have as much of that now. You can't find a 32 Ford in a junkyard, but like going to swap meets.
Yeah, just hunting for parts in general. I feel like we convey that a lot in our videos and especially the podcast. It's like someone looks at your car, they ask about a certain part. It's much more fun to explain the story of where that part came from. They're like, I just bought it on eBay. And
Yeah.
like, not every part, in this day and age, swap meets they're still around. They're not as prevalent as they used to be in some areas. Sometimes you're left to having to buy it on the internet, but I think it's way more fun to just be like, yeah, we went to a swap meet 8 hours away and this is the only thing we bought. It's just these pair of headlights. It's just, I think makes the building of a car a little bit more romanticized, I guess.
I think we take that, like a lot of the stuff we say, enjoy the hobby, how you like it. I specifically, or we take that facet of the hobby to the craziest degree, where I want to go to the source. I want to be digging it out of the hoarder's garage barn that's falling down and have a near-death experience to get these set of headlights, just because it's fun. We put it on the car, and that's the part of the hobby we like. So I think that's a time-honored tradition, is that digging for parts at a swap meet, talking to, networking with other car guys to get a lead on a chassis or a body or a project or, whatever. And even though our business is to sell parts to people, we are oftentimes urging people to be like, look, sometimes people will call us and be like, we could sell you this and ship it. But honestly, if you start going to swap meets, you can find this stuff.
Yeah.
It's around. It's not that hard to find. So while we'd love to sell you the part, sometimes we're like, look, the shipping's going to be 3 times what the part costs. I bet if you put an ad on your local Facebook or go to your local swap meet, there's a guy that has 10 of these laying around. It's like, so we try and,
How's he doing down there?
I don't know what he's doing. He's supposed to just be putting grills on.
He's putting zip screws in the fenders to put the grill.
Everything used to fit. It came apart.
Yeah.
But now,
I did want to mention, we have created our own time-honored traditions that we now do, which we picked up from Pete. Like, Pete stops at the same restaurants. Whenever he goes to a certain place, there's a restaurant that he has to go to.
And and I feel like that's a swap meet car show thing. I think a lot of people do that. Like, you always go to this one, you're always passing by the one restaurant. It's like everybody just always stops there.
And we kind of morphed it to our own. Like, whenever we go somewhere, we have to get Mexican food.
Yeah.
That's our time-honored tradition. And it's usually after we do the thing we're going for.
Or load a big load of stuff, or we go to a car event, we do Mexican. Yeah, and it's and it, I'm sure a lot of people that have a similar thing, if you go to, if there's been a car show that you've been going to or swap meet for a long time, your crew of friends have a thing. So our group of friends at Hershey, our joke is we get ice cream every night. And that's a Pete thing probably, but we've all taken it to it's like we get ice cream every night. Even if you don't want ice cream, you have to go. You're lactose intolerant, don't care. Shit your pants. Gotta have ice cream.
This actually, it's funny we just discussed this topic because last night Karen and I were driving back from Longmore Gardens and we passed Jimmy John's outside of Exton. And I had a memory of my grandfather. We used to not be able to buy Powerball tickets in PA. So we used to drive to Delaware to get Powerball back in the 90s. So we would stop at Jimmy John's and get hot dogs on the way down every time. And then you would go to Delaware, get the lottery tickets, and then on the way back there was a Brewster's ice cream that we would stop at and get ice cream. And that's what we did every time.
Yes.
Karen's like, How do you remember that? It's just like I remember riding in my grandfather's car for an hour to Delaware to get Powerball
It's
tickets.
like a core memory.
Yeah.
And that's,
I'm sure Nate will have some of that stuff too, because you know,
well, even just like the going for pizza.
Argentos, yeah.
Yeah, going for pizza type stuff. It's like those.
When that whole place is torn down and there's a new strip mall, when he's an adult, he'll be like, I remember going to a pizza shop that was right around here somewhere all the time.
And I remember when that was a Hardee's, and my father used to, when I was in kindergarten, he used to take me there for lunch with him.
That was a Hardee's?
Yeah, it was a Hardee's when I was a
I
kid.
didn't know that.
So my father, when I had like afternoon kindergarten, so when he would take me at lunchtime into kindergarten, we would stop at Hardee's and I would get a burger with him. So
Yeah.
like all that stuff. But like with the car stuff, you have these time honored traditions that
Yep.
we all do, you know, so we all like to do these certain things, and it's like you get in that, and it's part of what makes the hobby fun. Of
Yeah.
doing some of this might seem like routine or mundane type things, but it's just like a cool, you know, it's a cool thing to do, and it's what makes the hobby more fun, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not always about the car specifically, it's about the process or the whatever. But we always are trying to drive the discussion of, we're trying to fight all the sky is falling old guys that are saying that nobody's into this stuff, the hobby's dying, young kids don't like this stuff, blah, 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 blah. It's like a lot of it you could take responsibility. And there's all these time-honored traditions that, you know, the old guys will love to tell you how they, you know, swept the floor for free at a service station for, you know, 3 summers so that they could buy that Model A that was in the back rusting away. It's like, you know, you probably got a bunch of shit laying around. There's probably a young guy that, you know, was interested, but you're not nice to him, you know, like, or let him sweep your floor. Let him, you know, so like I'm always all about trading, you know, labor or help, and we give deals or give stuff away, you know, in exchange for that. And, you know, even we were just talking today, Luke, his brother is interested in getting an old vehicle. And I'm like, well, Luke's part of the IronTrap family now. I'm like, if your brother's interested, we'll do some additional things for him that we wouldn't offer to just any random person, because we want to get him hooked. We want to get him on it. And that's just what you do. It's a friend, you know, family of a friend.
Yep.
You just help them out. And that's the stuff that I think people, you know, need to see more of.
Definitely,
So
100%.
I think I try and do it more and more where I'm just like, oh, you need a space. I actually sometimes do it to the point of overwhelming myself. You know, one of my buddies just dropped off his Roadster pickup, and I'm going to help him.
Isn't someone else supposed to bring a pickup this winter too to get work
Yeah,
on?
our buddy George helped me a bunch at the mill, and I'm like, dude, we got to get your truck going. He has not brought it over. We're gonna have to like go steal it or something.
We
but,
could. When's the next time he goes to Puerto Rico? We'll just go over there and take it.
take his pickups. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be great. But like that's sometimes I do that with friends where I'm just like, I want to help so much. I am the bottleneck. I usually am the bottleneck as, you know, getting the stuff done. But like trying to help your friends, we talk about a lot. Trying to help your friends get their cars on the road. If you have a car that's on the road, try and help them go get their car on the road. You know, go work on it with them. And that's the time honored tradition of, you know, I had friends helping me wire my Model A coupe and help me get the engine in and do stuff like that when I needed an extra set of hands. And it's like, now's my turn.
And sometimes it's not even the physical help. Sometimes it's just the motivation to stand there and talk to them while they're working, just to get them into the garage.
Yes.
And car clubs do that a lot too. They'll have like shop nights.
Yeah.
Well, they'll all go to someone's garage, and there's probably not that much work physically getting done sometimes, but it's the kick in the ass to actually continue working on it.
Yes.
I used to help just go over to friend's shop and just hang out and talk, and they're working, and you're just
I
standing
still
there,
do that, yeah.
standing there watching, and you're helping motivate them to work because you're getting them to the garage to physically look at the car.
Yeah.
Versus just like hanging out on the couch watching TV.
Well, that's our buddy, our good friend Justin, has been talking about doing a Model A project for as long as we've known him.
Yeah.
And he got a really good example recently. He's like, you know, oh, I think I want to do a flathead V8 in it and blah, blah, blah. And
Let's pull one right out of the warehouse.
Yeah, I was like, immediately I'm like, let's go look for an engine for him. And we put it on the run stand, got it running. It's actually from that Florida stuff. And he's like, oh, I gotta get. He runs he just started up his own repair shop that's very successful, but he's
Congratulations on 1 year, by the way, Justin.
yeah, he's very busy, and I can relate to that.
Yes.
So like we got it running, and he's like, oh, I'll try and get down to pick that engine up. I'm like, Mike, let's just throw it in your truck and you drop it off and say Merry Christmas. And he's asking me what I want for it, and it's like, well, this is what we normally get for them, but the friend price is way cheaper because again, he's got kids, he's a small business, but he wants to build a hot rod.
He also works on all of our modern vehicles for us.
Yes, and answers text messages about stupid questions at 8:00 at night.
Yes.
Whatever. So it's like worked on my father's vehicle. So it's like trying to help him out. It's like let's try and feed him parts, and when he's ready to start working on it, it's like I'll go over.
Just fill his hot rod shop just with piles of parts around that car and be like, when are you gonna work on that thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna start.
Everything's right there.
Well, this past summer I started driving over in one of the cars at night.
Yeah.
And hanging out with him. So now I'm gonna have to make it a point to be like, Thursdays we're gonna work on your Model A.
Just start showing up randomly with parts. Open the trunk of the car. Be like, I brought this. You need this.
We're gonna start working on this car. Finish that customer car and clock in.
Yes.
Let's work on the Model A. We got to get this thing going. So that's the way to do it. So, but yeah, so that's our kind of discussion about time-honored traditions, and I'm sure we could talk for hours and hours about more and more of them. But we thought it was a good, timely thing to talk about.
Definitely. And if you have something that you and your car friends have done for ever,
or family,
leave a comment down below. It's always cool to see the discussion of what everyone considers a tradition that they continue on.
Yeah, with the whether it's the holiday, one we didn't touch on is there's a lot of people that do like mostly on the West Coast, but like a holiday or a winter drive.
So
in their old car.
I was actually going to bring it up when I used to have motorcycles. Every New Year's Day, I would ride my motorcycle as long as it wasn't like snowing or like really shitty rain. No matter how cold it was, I would always take my motorcycle out, even if there was salt on the road, just as long as it wasn't snowing, and ride it. So this year, if it's not super shitty, I plan on taking the 34 out. I don't know how far I'll drive it, but at least take it out and drive it first of every year.
Yeah, that's a good tradition.
It doesn't work very well. It's usually snowy or rainy on New Year's almost every year.
Never know.
Yeah.
So, but that's it. So we'd love to hear if you, as always, if you're listening to this on one of the listening outlets. Some of them allow comments. I think Spotify
does, yeah.
But also we post these on YouTube. If you're not listening to this on YouTube, you can hop over to our YouTube, and there is always great discussion in the comments. So you can drop a memory. If you got a core memory that you try and do with your family or kids or whatever, or like Mike mentioned, car club, car friends, whatever, car show, we'd love to hear it down below. It's always really fun to hear the discussion, and hopefully we can keep doing these traditions in the future. So thank you guys for following along. We appreciate it. We'll catch up with you next week in our weekly IronTrap podcast. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Catch you later.